What is going on, guys? Welcome back here to Europa League round of 16 predictions. Now, I did do predictions for the round of 16 of the UCL, and I didn't do round of 32 for the Europa League, which happened in the past few weeks, as there were a lot of games. So I decided, since the competition is getting more to the business end of it, and there's now just 16 teams, I think it would be a good idea to do predictions for the Europa League. Also, since the UCL takes longer to finish the round of 16, I will do UCL predictions for the round of 16 as I already did, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the eventual final. And then for Europa League, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So today we're going to go over round of 16, and the first leg is being played this week. Everyone plays at the same day, and then everyone plays on the same day the following week. On the 18th. So we're just going to go over each game one by one here, and I'm going to basically say who I think is going to win the tie. Not win the first leg, but win the whole entire tie. So the first one happens to be Manchester United versus AC Milan, and that is my team, Manchester United versus AC Milan. So obviously you could say there's some bias in here. But going to this game here, we got a Manchester United team who is now coming off of a huge win against Manchester City, 2-0. They beat Manchester City. And since I'm a United fan, I know a lot about the game. That was the first time in like 21 games Manchester City did not win a game, and that was the first in 24 games, I believe, that they did not even win or draw because they lost. Also, that was the first time since 2017, I want to say March of 2017, that Manchester City failed to score a goal at the Etihad, and we kept a clean sheet. People always talk about, oh, Maguire, Lindelof, so bad, and, things like that, but, hey, we kept a clean sheet, and that's what matters. But either way, we're coming into this game with a lot of momentum. Whereas AC Milan, to be fair, they're not going to have Zlatan Ibrahimovic for this first leg. They probably might have him for a second leg, but we'll see what happens. Now, they are on a slump in Serie A, as they were on top of it for most of the season, and now I think they're about 8-9 points back from Inter and Juve. If they win their game in hand, they're only a point off of AC Milan. So AC Milan is not really doing too well. I will say their last result was, I think, a 2-0 win, I think, in the Serie A, so they are coming off a win. But going into this one, I think Manchester United are favorites, but we're going to read some of the insights here. This is the 11th meeting between United and AC Milan, all 10 previous coming in the Champions League, so the first time in the UEL, which makes sense because most of these teams in the history have been in the UCL, but lately things can't always be the same. On top of that, Manchester United have been eliminated from 4 of their 5 knockout ties with AC Milan. No side eliminated the Red Devils more often, actually, also Real Madrid. In their last meeting, United did destroy them in the UEFA European competition. This does not include the Super Cup that United ended up winning with Jose Mourinho. And then when reaching the last 16 stage of any UCL or UEL, Milan are eliminated a lot recently. And then to go off of that, despite playing in 6 UCL group stage matches, United's Bruno Fernandes is the top scorer in the Europa League since the start of last season. And he didn't even play the 6 group stage matches this season. That is pretty incredible. So going into this one, it's hard to tell who's probably going to win. But if I had to say, I'm probably going to go with Manchester United. AC Milan are going to give a good fight. This is going to be a good tie, but overall, I think Manchester United are the better team here, have momentum. AC Milan don't have their main guys, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and I think Manchester United will come out on top here. So going to the next one here, Dynamo Kyiv versus Villarreal. So as we know, Dynamo Kyiv, if we want to take a look, they are currently in the Ukrainian league. And if we do go here and venture off to the Ukrainian league, they are actually first on top of Shakhtar Donetsk, as they tend to go back and forth. So as we kind of circle back here to the actual game that we want to talk about is versus Villarreal. So, it's one of 2 Ukrainian teams actually in the round of 16 of the Europa League. And they're going to play Villarreal. And right now, Villarreal, they aren't doing terrible in La Liga, but they could definitely be doing a lot better. And if we go to the standings here, Villarreal standings, they are 7th. So, I mean, that's kind of expected from them. They could be a little bit higher, but it was surprising they actually made the Europa League this year, so that's one thing to say. So now we go back to the game here, and Villarreal are probably heavy favorites. The only time they've ever met was in the UEFA Cup last 32 in 2004-05, before the Europa League was even called it, and Villarreal won. Dynamo Kyiv are winless in 16 games in European competition against Spanish sides, which makes sense because a lot of times you'll generally play like Real Madrid, Barcelona, or something like that. It's the 5th time Villarreal have reached the last 16 at the Europa League, and they've progressed a lot of many times, except they were eliminated by Sevilla when Sevilla did their big run of multiple years straight in the Europa League as winning it. Dynamo Kyiv have scored 9 goals in the Europa League since the start of last season, with all 9 involving their 2 main players. Sigankov is probably their main guy. And then including finals, this will be Villarreal's Unai Emery's 29th knockout tie in the Europa League. So it's an interesting one here with, one of them, I would say that Dynamo Kyiv are probably the underdogs, mainly because, Ukrainian teams, one will make the Europa League, one will make the Champions League. Obviously, Shakhtar was the one that made the Champions League, but then they fell back down. Villarreal are probably favorites here. But Dynamo Kyiv, they got some good players like Sigankov, and they're doing pretty well in the Ukrainian League. They're first in it, which is probably not expected. Usually they get second. And I'm actually going to go with the Dynamo Kyiv win in this tie. This might be an upset to people, but I actually feel like this leg, Dynamo Kyiv might get 1 or 2 against them early, and then they're going to hold on. And then the second leg, Villarreal are going to kind of collapse. It is one of the upsets. I got to do some upsets, and I'm saying Dynamo Kyiv advance. Okay. Moving on to the next one, we got Ajax versus Young Boys. Now, this is interesting. Let's quickly scroll up here because both of their ties were very intriguing in the round of 32. So if we go here, Young Boys ended up beating Leverkusen 6-3 on aggregate. The first game was super entertaining because Young Boys were up 4-0, and then they actually became 4-3 and let Leverkusen in the tie. But Leverkusen's a big side that they beat. Leverkusen's arguably a team that could compete for the semifinal or even final in this competition. We have Ajax then, and Ajax ended up beating Lille, who's probably another team that you would think could probably be in the round of 16. So big ties actually in the round of 32s for both of these teams, and Ajax ended up winning both legs 2-1 as they progressed. So if we look at this game here, we got Ajax Young Boys. Young Boys, they're not from a big league, as we know. If we go to their standings right now of their league, they're in the Swiss league. It's not that big of a league. The main teams are them and Basel, and they are dominating the league as expected. If they were not winning the league, it'd probably be a rare thing. Basel, sometimes compete. Basel's actually not doing well at all this season, I'll say that. But if we go all the way back here to Ajax and Young Boys, Ajax, as we know, I'm pretty sure they're on top of Eredivisie. I don't know why they wouldn't be. Yes, they are by a comfortable margin, 9 points if they win their game in hand. So Ajax are definitely favorites here, but Young Boys, they're underdogs against Leverkusen. They got the job done. Who do I think is going to progress here? I think it's going to be Ajax, and this is why. I think Ajax got a lot of quality players to progress against Young Boys. I don't really know too much about the Young Boys players, but, Ajax have always been producing with, players like De Jong, De Ligt, Van de Beek, who have left the club to go to better places. But Ajax still got really good players. Onana, as we know, is suspended for what he did. And, they just have a lot of quality Ajax, especially from their youth all around the team. Young Boys, not really too much. I think they're not lucky to be here, but they really, I feel like, used all of their energies to get past Leverkusen. It's a very good side, and as we'll look at some insights here, the only previous European tie was in 87-88. Young Boys are unbeaten in their last 2 matches against Dutch opposition. Ajax have reached the last 16 of the Europa League for the first time since 16-17, but generally they're in the Champions League sometimes. But I truly think that Ajax are going to progress in this one. It's going to be a close one, but I'm saying Ajax move through. Okay, let's go a little bit faster. I'm probably talking too much. Slavia Prague versus Rangers. Both of them progressed. Slavia Prague upsetting Leicester, and then the Rangers having a crazy tie against Antwerp where they scored like 9 goals in total. As we know, Rangers clinched the Scottish League already, which is kind of insane. Slavia Prague, as we know, they are in the Czech Republic League. Oh my gosh, 10-3 they won one of their games recently. Oh my gosh, 10-3, that's insane. How do you win a game 10-3? I didn't even know that. Wow. They are first in the league as expected by a large amount. But 10-3, that is just wow. Okay. Wow. Either way, going back to this game, Slavia Prague, they upset Leicester. They scored 10 goals in the game. Rangers, though, they've won the league, and their full focus now is on this. This is what's going to happen, though. Rangers won the league this weekend. Everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, Rangers champions, all that stuff. They're going to be so happy, and, they're going to have all the celebrations. And then they're going to come into this game all tired, washed, and everything, and they're going to fall apart. I think the Rangers finally stopping Celtic's streak is enough for their season. And I actually think Slavia Prague are going to keep this, you could say, dream run going, and I actually think Slavia Prague are going to get past Rangers solely because of the reason that Rangers, I feel like, won the league, and that's all they care about right now. So yeah, that's the explanation. Okay, Olympiacos versus Arsenal. Arsenal almost got knocked out by Benfica in the round of 32, but now they are here against Olympiacos. As we know, Olympiacos are from the Greece League, and if we do want to take a look at how they're doing, they are first by a crazy margin. A lot of these teams in the round of 16 that are not from big leagues are generally like dominant teams in their leagues. Arsenal, on the other hand, are like 8th, 9th, or whatever in the Prem, so they're like mid-table. So they've actually met a couple times before, no encounter ending level, and both teams winning each one 5 times. It's actually interesting. You think Arsenal will probably do a bit better. Arsenal was knocked out last time, the last 32 of the Europa League last season. I actually remember that now. There's going to be some revenge here for Arsenal. And the question is, how much is Arsenal going to try in this competition? I think they're going to try a lot because, yeah, in the Premier League, they're probably going for Europa League at this point. But I feel like they're going to try to get one of those ways to get back into the Champions League. And I think that's by winning this competition. I think they're going to play all their best players. They're going to focus this more than the Premier League, I actually think. But Olympiacos, man, don't sleep on them. I would not sleep on them. They have quality players, but same for Arsenal. They got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's starting to catch fire. They got Saka. Not Shaka. Shaka's been trash. But they got quality players more than Olympiacos, and I think Arsenal are going for the revenge, and I think this is a way to possibly win the final, which is a long way away. But if they ever want to make the UCL or something like that, this would be the best way. And I think Arsenal are hungry for more, and I think Arsenal will progress. Okay, Granada versus Molde. This is probably, people say this is the weakest tie of the round of 16. People could disagree, people would not disagree. Granada right now I believe are mid-table. I think 9th or 8th in La Liga. I don't want to check every single one. Molde are another of those teams that they're in one of the smaller leagues, like the Norwegian League, and I'm pretty sure they're dominating. Let me just find it here. I can't seem to find. I just gotta find a. What do they? I wonder if they play actually in the. Here we go. I found it. Okay. So the way the Norwegian League is, they play on a different schedule. So they're not actually playing right now. But if we want to go to last season, they actually like finished their season like in December. So like the 2020 season actually finishes in 2020. So I think their next season starts up like around pretty soon actually, and then it goes all the way till like December. Molde actually got second, which is usually surprising. They didn't do as well as expected. They usually expected to get way better than this. They're one of the few teams with a badge. Jason Rosenberg probably should be doing better. But either way, let's go back to the tie here. We got Molde versus Granada, and I think Molde, it's good for them to get to the round of 16, but I think Granada, I think this is a team that's really up and coming in La Liga. They're starting to produce lots of good talent. This is the first time Granada is in a European competition, and it's the first time against Norwegian opponents. Molde failed to really beat Spanish teams, as I'm saying. Molde generally just make it to the knockouts and things like that because they get, Europa League doesn't have the toughest groups. They generally get first or second in the Norwegian League, and then when Molde come up against a stronger opponent, they kind of fold. And I think that's going to happen here. I don't think Molde have enough to keep on going, which is why I think Granada is going to progress. Got 2 more ties here. Tottenham and Dynamo Zagreb is next. Tottenham, as we know, I think they're like, 8th in the league right now? They were first at one point, and now they're like 8th. Dynamo Zagreb is another of those teams from one of the smaller leagues. They are from the Croatian league, and I believe they're towards the top, and they are the top. It is actually pretty close, but they're expected to usually be first as they are, so that's good for them. It looks like 2 points with a game in hand. Now, going to this one, I think everyone would think Tottenham would progress. I would think so too. They've met only once before, and Spurs destroyed them 4-0. Tottenham played against Croatian opponents on 7 previous times, and 6 of them have been against one team, and Tottenham seem to win most of the times. Dynamo Zagreb, as you can see, when they play English teams, they don't do really that well, and that's mainly because they're just like Molde and things like that, where their league is not that hard, so they'll usually get first or second, make their Europa League or Champions League. To make a Champions League, they'll probably get 3rd or 4th in their group, fall down to the Europa League, maybe get an easy opponent in the round of 32, make it through, and then probably come up against a big team like this and then fold. I think that's the same thing that's going to happen here. Harry Kane, one of their main players, Heung-min Son, Hugo Lloris, they got a lot of quality players, Hulsberg, Kane, they have a stat 28 goals in his last 33 starts for Spurs in major European competitions. I think he's going to score, I'm going to say 2 times in this tie in total between both legs. And I don't think Zagreb have it to beat Tottenham. I think Tottenham are hungry here, especially that the trophy's out of reach really in all competitions. They could beat City in the Carabao Cup, which is a possibility. But I think Europa League's a big thing that Jose Mourinho wants to win, and they're going to go full force here. Dele Alli could play in this game as he scored an amazing bicycle kick against Wolfsburg in the second leg when the tie was over. But I do think Tottenham are going to do really well here, and I think they're going to ease through this one like they did against Wolfsburg and make it to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Okay, Roma versus Shakhtar Donetsk, last game of this Europa League round of 16. If we quickly go here, Roma recently lost to Milan, and they're sitting 4th in the table, but they're very close to slipping away from Champions League. I think the Milan teams and Juventus have solidified themselves as the best 3 there. And if we look at Shakhtar, they're from the Ukrainian league. As we know, they are currently 2nd, I believe right now, behind Dynamo Kyiv. So looking at this one, we see Shakhtar from a smaller league. They were in the Champions League, and they did drop. Roma, probably expected to maybe sometimes be in the Champions League, but they were in the Europa League. I don't think they dropped out of a Champions League. They might have. But it's going to be an interesting one, Roma and Shakhtar. Shakhtar, I think they're really trying to win the league right now. Whereas Roma, they're trying to go for top 4, and then they got European competition. It's going to be a lot for both of these teams. But overall, I think Roma are the better team here. They got really good players. Edin Dzeko, I was just about to talk about him, and they literally have a stat here. He scored 14 goals in his last 22 Europa League. He's had good games before in the Europa League and Champions League when he played Barcelona and that huge comeback. Shakhtar failed to score in each of their last 4 matches against Italian opposition. Roma won their last 7 knockout matches in major European competition, and I truly think that's going to keep on going, these types of trends, and I do think Roma is going to progress. Okay, so quick recap of kind of what I said. I said Manchester United would get through and beat AC Milan. I kind of provided my one upset, as I always do, for the ties, and I think Dynamo Kyiv, as a Ukrainian team, are going to make the quarterfinals and beat Villarreal. I do think that Ajax are going to beat Young Boys and make to the quarterfinals. I think Slavia Prague are going to actually keep this nice run going and beat Rangers, as the Rangers will probably be happy with finally stopping Celtic from winning the league. I think Arsenal will be too much for Olympiacos, as they'll get revenge. So Arsenal will go through. And then for Granada and Molde, I think Granada are going to be too much for Molde, so I think Granada will go through. I think Tottenham will ease their way, and then Roma will make it to the quarterfinals. So Manchester United, Dynamo Kyiv, Ajax, Slavia Prague, Arsenal, Granada, Tottenham, and Roma, I think, will be in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. But drop your predictions below in the comments. Reply to my comment, and yeah, drop them below. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is the most intriguing tie? What do you think is the least intriguing? I think the most is going to be Manchester United versus AC Milan. Could be a bias, but if I don't have to choose that one, I'd say Roma and Shakhtar. Least intriguing, I'm going to say Tottenham and Dynamo Zagreb. And just for fun things to say, what do you think is going to be the highest scoring tie, lowest scoring tie? I think the highest scoring tie is going to be Ajax and Young Boys. The lowest scoring tie, I believe, is going to be Granada and Molde. But tell me, guys, in the comment section below what you guys think about these games. How do you think it's going? Is the Europa League underrated? A lot of people are saying that. But that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe if you like the content. Like the video if you like it, because that is what it's for. And I'll see you guys on that next video. Bye-bye.